Okay. Hi, everyone. Hope you are doing well. Welcome to the next video on our demand planning app series. And this is the part 5. We have created 4 parts before this. And today we will be talking about a next step in our series, which is about create forecast. Now, to do so, I again have Gaurav with me, who is helping us in exploring this feature. So here are some details about the Gaurav. I think you would know him by now. So welcome, Gaurav, and thank you for taking out time and explaining this again.
Thank you, Saurabh.
So I think one of the key thing which we will do here now, just to have a quick recap what we have done in the last video. So last time in the part 3, we created the historical data. And then after that, we created the calculation, the series which we had. And then in the last video, what we did basically is to navigation and exploring those different options with the help of Copilot capabilities and the different filtering options and the viewing option we had there. And that was very critical for us to understand because similar features can be used in the different like the forecast which we will be creating today or the future when we are having different views and the profiles created for the forecast. Now we have the historical data. We have set up a base. Now it's time to do the forecast creation. So what are we going to do, Gaurav, today here in this as part of forecast creation?
Yeah, thank you, Saurabh. Yeah, so we will today dive into the sequential flow shows that today is the session for creating forecast, which is essentially the why we are doing the demand planning to generate the forecast mainly. So this is very going to be very critical. So here we are today going to create the forecast profile. We will look at the different models we have and what model we will use, and then we will see how the forecast time series is created, same as the historical demand time series. So we will go into the details.
That's great. That's great, Gaurav. Now, I think, Gaurav, it is important that we kind of continue and try to stick to our use case as well so that it is helpful for us to understand or the viewer to understand what we are doing. So I think we started with our USMF electronics data and we kind of considered the historical data and use that. Now, for creation of the forecast, let's consider that we want to generate the monthly forecast first thing. And we want to generate, let's say we are in July or June right now, and I want to generate for next 6 months. So my one of the use cases that I want to generate the forecast based on what I have created till now for next 6 months. And the second thing is, I see that in the demand planning app, we have 4 different algorithms to generate the forecast, which is Arima, ETS, Profit, XG, Boost. And as a newcomer, right, as a consultant or possibly a planner, I might not be sure that which one is good for me to use for the forecast. So I want to create a forecast based on the different model in the algorithm, but I also want to see that which one is better for me or is the system is capable enough or intelligent enough for me to give the which one is the good algorithm for my business scenario.
Yeah.
And based on that, what I found, Gaurav, and we were discussing before the recording as well, that Microsoft has given us certain business scenarios and explain that out of these algorithms which are supported, which one is best in which scenario. So simple business scenario, data stationary, non-stationary, and all these things are there and where they have explained like on the column I see the algorithm and it is given that which one is recommended or acceptable. Now, can you please help me in understanding this in a little bit more in detail from the business scenario and then demand planning perspective?
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Saurabh. You very rightly pointed out, this is what Microsoft has suggested. That there are different forecast algorithms which we use. We have Auto Arima. Of course we will think of, maybe having a detailed videos on each one of them, maybe at a later stage. And you also mentioned about, if possibly Microsoft has given something intelligent, which, for example, in our use case, we want user doesn't know that based on the data which one is suited best, so they want to probably know about it. So we have something called, best fit model, which we will use today, and we will see when we create it. But in these algorithm, if we talk about Auto Arima, this is something which is, suited for the stationary data. And this is one of the algorithm where the, let's say, the stationary data is constant, which has a constant mean, constant standard deviation, and no seasonality. I'm talking very in a brief manner, but this is where the Auto Arima is, recommended to use for this kind of data sets. And ETS, what it stands for, the error, trend, and seasonality. It excels if your business case is simple and the data has various patterns such as linear or exponential trends, or let's say if you want the forecast to give more weight to the most recent data. So there, the ETS is prevails. And then Prophet is one of the algorithm which works best with the complex real world data. And all these three which I mentioned, these are using, just one single input. And then there comes the XGBoost, which is short form of extreme gradient boosting, which can generate forecast based on two separate inputs. So this is the difference between XGBoost and the other three, because other three are using just one single input, but XGBoost we can, use two inputs. And we, as I said, we will go in we can go into details at a later stage in our series. But today we are going to use the best fit model. And what it does is the system optimizes the model selections for each dimensions. Let's say if we use the product dimension, site, warehouse, depending on what dimensions they are using in the system, and then based on the selection, it identifies that which algorithm is best out of Auto Arima, ETS, Prophet. And then it sort of, intelligently assigns us, one of the algorithm which is best suited, and give us that data using, one of the forecasts. So we will when we do that, we will understand more, when we create it and actually action it.
And that's absolutely right, Gaurav, because we have, I mean, these terms and algorithm also require a bit of non-Microsoft Dynamics knowledge, like statistics and other things, right? And it is difficult to cover everything in a single video. So let's keep it a very simple today, and let's focus that whether we get the forecast created or not, and then we can kind of add the complexities on top of that.
Yeah, sure.
Now, one of the thing, Gaurav, right, and I know again it is a specific term in terms of data and statistics, but what I found is there is a concept called MAPE, which is mean absolute percentage error, and it has got a formula which is shown here. And what I found that it is very important when we talk about the forecasting, irrespective of which model we are using or algorithm we are using, it is important. And why it is important, because it helps us in understanding the forecast in easy way, or the model comparison which we for which the forecasting methods are used, and also it helps in decision impact. Now all this is theory in my head. Now can you explain me how these factors are true, and how may plays an important role in terms of the demand planning which we are doing in this series?
Sure. So Saurabh, I mean, of course, MAPE is one of the important metrics. There can be many other considerations, but let's say we are not the, statistician. So MAPE is very important, and we will see that, how it is important when we actually action it. So this is one of the core metrics. So MAPE is a matrix that measures the accuracy of forecast system by comparing the predicted values to the actual values, right? And that's what the formula is there to give the mean absolute percentage error. And then a role in the Microsoft demand planning is that as it is helpful in the forecast model evaluation. For example, it is one of the core metric to assess models like ARIMA, exponential smoothing, etc. And then in the model tuning, so it identifies underperforming forecasts to refine parameters. And then we have limitations as well. That it is for the low volume items, it is not probably best used. And the it is not defined for the zero actual values, so it support the business, but it support the business goals. It enables more accurate demand, less over out and stock outs. So we will see it when we see it. Yeah.
Yeah. No, absolutely right. And I think that what why we kept this in this video is for people who are watching, for their awareness that when they are talking about forecast, they need to consider and maybe read about the map by themselves and explore about this concept for by themselves as well, if we are not able to explain in a very better way, right? So that's the important thing to highlight here. So with that, I think now we have set up a context, what we covered last time. This video objective is to create the forecast. We discussed the use case. We want to create a 6 months forecast based on a different algorithm we have. And we discuss about the scenarios, which one is suitable for which scenario, and we concept of MAVE. So now let's get into the system and then try to see how we can create the forecast and then see this in action, right? That's the key thing for us to know. Okay. So I have logged into our demand planning app, the interface, and this is my home page for people who are possibly watching the first time. Go ahead, watch the first 4 parts. We have kind of navigated through different options which are there at a high level. So how do I start, Gaurav? Help me in
Yeah.
understanding what's my first step now to create the forecast.
Correct. So similar to what we did in the transformation of the historical data, and then we date offset it using the calculation profile. So we have to create another profile which is specific to forecast, as the name goes by forecast profile. So we will create again a forecast profile, which is again most of the time it's a one-time setup. So we can create one
Yeah.
similar to yeah.
Now, just want to sorry to interrupt, Gaurav, but I just want to quickly highlight that now, if you look at this operation section, we have kind of today we are covering all 3 options. In the past 2 videos, we covered transformation, calculation, and this, and under data management also we covered this. So slowly we are trying to cover each and every option which is listed in this demand planning app. Okay, so let's go ahead, create a new
Yeah.
forecast. So maybe I can give the name as forecast 2 for now. And yeah, that is done.
Yeah, and precision, let's say one, we keep the same as what we did in the historical transformation and the calculation. Yeah, and the tag is forecast is good because this is the forecast. Yeah, we go next, and then we have to ensure that we select the same time buckets and the monthly and the horizon. We can do for whatever. Here it is monthly, so yeah, 6 month.
So I think it is kind of aligning like which I set up in the use case that I want a monthly for next six
Correct.
months. So I would do, if I want 12 months, I can do the 12 months. I want daily. So I think accordingly we can
Yes.
do
Yeah.
this.
Yeah. And then here we can see, the different models which we talked about. We're gonna use the best fit model, and we go the next. And this
Okay, so
is,
what we are saying is that let's use the best fit, which is possibly a important one because if I don't know which one to select here.
correct. Yeah. If we, and schedule, probably do it, later series. For now, let's run it without the schedule. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's important. Again, what you just now said that it's not a like a everyday configuration that every time you if you want this to run every day or every month on a specific recurrence, we can set up a recurrence here.
Correct.
So I do the next and then review and finish.
Yeah, that's sorted our profile, and we will just as we did for the others, we will run it. so that we see it.
Yeah.
One
Do
more
you want
one.
to highlight
Yes,
anything about this forecast
yes,
model
yeah.
like what we have here?
Correct.
Yeah.
So here we have so far created profile, and as we discussed, this is one time. So we have to input our time series here, and because we created time series to the calculation profile because we shifted the dates shifted one, so we will use this
Yeah.
one. So in a sense it is this time series for us people who has watched our videos in the past, they would know that this is the time series which we are referring as the historical demand data, the recent data, right?
Yeah.
And here, yeah, we can save it now. We can talk about remaining things later, but yeah. And then it is already showing as best fit, but yeah. So best fit model, we will use the detection using the hint auto detection. I think it's still in the preview, so let's go with the detection using hint. Here seasonality hints we are keeping two, and probably in the next video when we review, we will talk about seasonality cycles, all those things in detail, and time freeze rule and all a lot of things, yeah. So
Yeah.
saved it. And here on the right screen, if you want to have this as a template, you can you have a uh, yeah,
Yeah.
this
Save
one.
model as a
Yeah,
template.
and you can validate as well if you have completed everything. So if you
Yeah.
click on this, it validates it, sort of tells that okay, everything is okay, nothing is missing, so we are good for the forecast to run now.
Yeah. And again, I want to reiterate it is kind of like how we do the workflow configuration. So you have an input, you have a model which on which you are running this forecast, and then you are saving that output, whatever is getting generated. So it is important to have input and the save option, and in between whatever is required, you can have. We kept it simple to keep this thing, and then we can just run this. And I think what I understand is that it is going to take bit
Yeah,
more
we
time.
mhm.
So
Yeah,
possibly
we
we,
can.
yeah,
Mhm. In the previous screen, I mean, we are running it because we wanted to forecast from today, but we
yeah,
can choose different dates from where we want. Yeah.
correct. So I think what we understand, Gaurav, is that it is going to take time. So that's the reason for this video preparation. We have already run one of the forecasts. So this forecast is like for the viewer, like how that bed job is executing. Once that is completed, you will be able to see that forecast. But right now, let's look at the forecast which we created for demo purpose today. And this is also using the same calculation time series, and it is completed. Now, what do we do with this? Now, how do I
Yeah.
go from
So
here?
right. Before we go into seeing the actual time series created, we talked about MAPE, we talked about best fit model. So how do we see that it has actually worked, based on that? So there is a very good feature microservice developed. So if we click on the job rain, job run name, we have something called explainability.
Okay.
And if we go into this one, we can actually see that it has calculated MAPE, right? And what we're talking about, that what best fit model do is that it checks different dimension combination, and whatever is it thinks that best algorithm is for us, it uses that one in calculating the forecast for us. So here, if you want to analyze, you can analyze it based on this, but this is actually what goes in the behind the scenes sort of,
Yeah.
that how the best fit model worked, yeah, for
Yeah.
us.
And that's very important also. Let's say I know I have an output forecast created, but if someone wants to analyze on which algorithm it has created and what was the MAPE percentage for that, they can come here and look into this. And also another thing is that what we have is like we can look at the when this bed job was started, what time, how much time it took, and all those details are available here for us. So now with that, I think we can go and look at our data, which has been generated here. Now, again, the Copilot is everywhere. I mean, we have not generated this, but you can always use that. So this is my the forecast which has been created,
Six
right,
month,
Gaurav?
yeah. Yeah, for six
Okay.
month, yeah.
So that's good. And one of the key thing which I see here, Gaurav, is the different options which we kind of, and that is the reason we created the last video dedicatedly for explaining all the options like what is fit to data and what is the group by, how to download, adding the data,
Filters.
editing, putting the comments if, let's say, you are working in a collaborative environment, and then also adding filters here, adding data here. So all these different options, saving the view or as a worksheet, right? All these different navigation, personalization, working with this, with these screens of forecast, demand, and all the calculation profile we have
Versions. Yeah.
explained in the last video, which is very important. So we are not going to repeat that. We are going to utilize those key features going forward. So now I have a forecast. What else we want to talk about in this specific video, Gaurav?
Yeah, so we can actually overlay, this with our historical data so that we understand, okay, this is following, the same pattern based on that. Yeah, so we
Correct.
can overlay it.
So now what for that, and that's a very good point. We wanted to show that because how do I know this has followed a right pattern which I had in my demand? So we have created the view for that already. And if you look at that is another example that you can have a different worksheet and you can save those views and look at. So this is my calculation one time
Historical
series
data.
which with historical data which we are using, and then this is my what it has created for next 6 months, and I can just look at them parallelly and look at the pattern here.
Correct.
But one thing important, Gaurav, let's show them how we created this view. So what we created by clicking on add data, and this was our forecast which we generated, and then we have added this by clicking on add option here, and then we added this time
Yeah.
series data just to have
Yeah,
the
and we
comparison.
yeah and because the previous data was for, the longer period, and we want to show, so that the book, because if you see the range where it is, the data range is higher and the right side is lower, so we did the chart styling customization showing to the secondary y-axis. Do you want to show it very quick, Saurabh?
Yeah, I think
uh,
that's right. So this is like thousands and these are numbers. So what we did is we customized this chart
yeah,
styling and enable this secondary y-axis so that we
otherwise we
can have
can't
a kind of
compare.
a
Yeah, yeah,
good view, and we can at least look at the pattern, not the numbers, basically.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I
Again,
think
this is the
that's
demo
it.
data. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Again, this is the demo data with the real forecast. I mean, of course, we are trying best to showcase, but with the real data, it will make more sense. Yeah, and in the next video, we will talk about seasonality and other things. So we'll cover a lot of things there as well.
that's true. That's true. And that's very good. Yeah, objective of our series is not to show very real-time data or something. We are using the demo data, but we talk about the capabilities and the functionalities and how people can work with these features. So I think that's it for this specific video. And the next video, we will go and deep dive into this forecast which has been generated, look at the different aspect like seasonality, as you said, and the more factors which we have around this in demand planning app. So that's it for this video. Hope you liked it, and feel free to watch the previous videos which we have created to get up to the speed. And we will be creating another new video very soon as a next part of it. So thank you for watching and see you in the next one. And
Thank
thanks,
you,
Gaurav,
thank you,
for participating.
thank you, everyone. Thank you, Saurabh.